Mercedes-Benz, a renowned luxury car company worth around $80 billion today, has a rich history that began with humble origins. It all started with a poor engineer named Carl Benz, who faced numerous doubts and failures in his pursuit of building the first horseless carriage during the late 19th century. Born in November 1844 in the German town of Mühlberg, Carl grew up in a low-class household. His father, a locomotive driver, passed away when Carl was just 2 years old, leaving the family in dire financial straits. Despite the hardships, Carl's mother ensured he received a good education, and he displayed early brilliance in chemistry and mechanics. Carl pursued mechanical engineering at the University of Karlsruhe, where he was influenced by a teacher named Ferdinand Rettenberger. Under Rettenberger's guidance, Carl's interest in horseless carriages grew, and he began experimenting with ways to create a motorized vehicle. Unlike previous inventors who mostly relied on steam engine technology, Carl envisioned a different concept for the automobile. After graduating from Karlsruhe at 19, Carl worked various engineering and construction jobs for 7 years. In 1871, at the age of 27, he partnered with a mechanic named August Ritter to operate an iron foundry and mechanical workshop in Mannheim. Simultaneously, he continued working on his side project of developing a motorized carriage. Unfortunately, Carl's business partner proved unreliable, leading to significant struggles for the company. However, during this period, Carl met Bertha Ringer, who would later become his wife. Bertha, coming from a wealthy family, bought out Ritter's share using her dowry, placing Carl in full control of the business. Over the next decade, Carl made remarkable developments in his experiments, notably creating a gasoline two-stroke engine in 1879 and patenting various inventions like engine speed regulation, ignition systems, spark plugs, carburetors, clutch, gear shift, and a water radiator. Despite these achievements, the production costs soared, and the company was transformed into a joint stock company in 1882. Unfortunately, Carl's ownership dwindled to just 5%, and he lost influence over decision-making and product design. Feeling frustrated and undervalued, Carl eventually left the corporation the following year. Despite these setbacks, Carl's legacy lives on, as he was one of the pioneering figures who laid the foundation for the automotive industry, and his contributions played a pivotal role in shaping the future of transportation. Leaving his previous company was a significant blow for Carl, but the disappointment only fueled his determination to succeed. Carl's passion for bicycles led him to connect with Max Rose and Friedrich Wilhelm, owners of a bicycle repair shop in Mannheim. Together, they established Benz & Company, and focused on manufacturing industrial machines and stationary gas engines. This new venture proved to be profitable, with a staff of 25 people and steady income. With the success of Benz & Company, Carl could finally direct his attention toward his lifelong dream of building an automobile using his gas engine. Instead of merely adding a motor to a carriage, Carl designed the carriage around the motor, employing technology similar to that of a bicycle. In 1885, he introduced what is considered the first true automobile, the Benz Patent Motorwagen. This two-seater vehicle had 3 wire wheels forming a tricycle and ran on a gasoline 4-stroke motor, producing 2/3 of a horsepower and reaching speeds of about 7 miles per hour. Despite being revolutionary, the Benz Patent Motorwagen received mixed reviews from critics when Carl drove it in public in the summer of 1886. While some admired his creation, others were skeptical and even feared the vehicle might explode. Carl's business partners were also less than thrilled with his obsession with the automobile, as they couldn't see its potential value compared to their other endeavors. Despite the initial skepticism, Carl Benz believed that his horseless carriage was the future and began manufacturing cars for sale in 1888, becoming the first person in the world to do so. His wife, Bertha, stood as his biggest supporter, offering new suggestions and staying with him in the workshop. However, even with improvements, people struggled to grasp Carl's vision. The early cars were limited in their capabilities and required constant maintenance, making them accessible only to the wealthy elite. Many potential buyers were deterred by the noise and messiness of the vehicles. It was evident that Carl needed to find a way to convince the world that the automobile was not just a passing novelty but a transformative invention that would change transportation forever. In the summer of 1888, Bertha Benz, without informing her husband Carl or the police, embarked on a historic journey with her 2 sons in Carl's car. They traveled 66 miles to visit her mother in Forstheim, proving the significance of Benz's invention. The successful trip generated publicity for Carl's business, leading to the expansion of Benz & Company, which became the second largest engine manufacturer in Germany by 1890, primarily producing stationary gasoline engines. Carl's business partners, Friedrich von Fischer and Julius Gunz, played a crucial role in the company's growth by handling the business and marketing aspects. Meanwhile, Carl focused on his engineering goals and patented several new car innovations, including the planetary gear transmission, double pivot steering, and flat engine with a boxer configuration. The company introduced the Benz Victoria in 1893, a more luxurious 2-passenger vehicle that sold well. However, it was the cheaper Benz Velo that became a massive success, with about 1,200 units produced, making it the world's first large-scale production car. Meanwhile, a rival company, Daimler Motor and Gesellschaft, led by Gottlieb Daimler and Wilhelm Maybach, was gaining ground. In 1901, they introduced the Mercedes 35 horsepower, a powerful and advanced vehicle that received considerable attention. The Daimler company rebranded all their vehicles as Mercedes, focusing on producing models for racing and public use under this name. Karl's company faced pressure from the competition, and his partners decided to develop a faster model without Karl's approval. This led to conflicts, and Karl eventually left the company but remained on its board of directors. His car's racing successes ultimately helped the company recover. In 1926, the economic recession forced Daimler and Benz to merge entirely, forming Daimler-Benz, which later became known as Mercedes-Benz. The company continued to grow and produce impressive models like the Mercedes-Benz Type 630, SS, and SSK, with Ferdinand Porsche contributing significantly as one of their best engineers. Karl Benz passed away in April 1929 at the age of 84, but his legacy lived on through the continued success of Mercedes-Benz as one of the world's leading car manufacturers. In 1933, when Adolf Hitler rose to power in Germany, he aimed to showcase German engineering and technology to the world as a way to elevate his political standing. To impress the world, Hitler encouraged German car manufacturers to participate in international motorsports events. One of the companies that received a significant subsidy was Daimler-Benz, and they wasted no time in getting involved in Grand Prix races. Daimler-Benz dedicated considerable time and money to build cars as fast as possible. From 1934 to 1939, their models, such as the W25 and W125, dominated Grand Prix races, reaching speeds of up to 200 miles per hour. Another German automaker, Auto Union, emerged as a new rival during the same period and enjoyed its fair share of success. The success of German cars in motorsports events elevated Germany's status in the world, and Mercedes-Benz, in particular, became Hitler's preferred car brand. The Mercedes-Benz 770, a large luxury vehicle, was frequently used by high-ranking Nazi officials. However, with the outbreak of World War II in 1939, Daimler-Benz faced serious challenges as the demand for civilian passenger cars declined. They shifted their focus to manufacturing military vehicles, submarines, tanks, and aircraft engines for the Nazi military. Forced labor and prisoner workers, including detainees from concentration camps, were utilized to meet the increasing production demands. After the war ended in 1945, Daimler-Benz suffered significant losses due to the Potsdam Agreement, with all German assets abroad being confiscated for reparations. They had to start over, and by 1946, they obtained a production permit and began producing passenger vehicles again. Despite the bomb damage to their factories, they managed to turn a profit by 1948. By the 1950s, Mercedes-Benz made a strong comeback in motorsports events and achieved successful sales worldwide, regaining much of its influence. Over the years, Mercedes-Benz has become one of the most valuable car brands in the world, but its success would not have been possible without the courage and determination of Karl Benz, who, despite humble beginnings, challenges, and critics, turned his dream into a reality. Today, Mercedes-Benz has shifted its image and continues to be a prominent and respected player in the automotive industry, leaving a lasting legacy that can be traced back to Karl Benz's pioneering work.